Wow. I think a tough battle, really good game, probably a good TV game. I think they came out incredibly hot, hit their first 4 threes, really put us on our heels defensively. But I think as the game went along, you saw us assert kind of our defensive presence. When you look at the stat sheet, you realize that we out-rebounded them. We shot a better percentage than them, but they made more threes, obviously, and they probably won at the foul line going 20 for 20. So a really good battle. I think you saw 2 really good teams tonight. And I think when we look at this stretch where we've played really, really well, we actually, when we've had long breaks, it hasn't necessarily been good to us. We came back after the All-Star game, after the All-Star break, and lost one and then got rolling again. And the same thing with our long break going into the Phoenix game. So, I'm not sure that you won't see in some ways a more energized team on Tuesday night as we battle back out of a hole.
Raise your hand, we'll get a microphone. 3rd row right here on the right.
Yeah, Coach. Coach, do you have any other, the game plan versus Deladon? I know it's hard to stick a player of that caliber. Do you have any other adjustments you're going to make for game 2?
Well, I mean, some of our shots were, oh boy. Are we all right? All right. I mean, this is the 3rd game. Elena Deladon is a really, really good player. And I think the minute you start sending a lot of double teams at her, you get yourself in trouble because this team is number 1 in the league when the defense commits to her. Because then all of a sudden you're in numbers game on the backside. So, I thought for the most part, we're not going to bring a double team when she rises up and shoots a 3 over us on the perimeter. And I thought we missed some box outs on her because we've actually made her inefficient in 3 of the 4 games. I mean, this wasn't necessarily an inefficient game for her, but she still was under 50% from the field. So, I thought Breland, even Monique Billings, did a good job on her one-on-one. I think what we've got to do is do a better job taking the arc away from them on Tuesday night.
Coach of the Manual Blade, the Crush Sports Talk. What are your thoughts about the defense? It seemed like it was 2 different defenses, first half, second half. Overall, how were you satisfied with the defense?
Well, I thought we really played great defense in the second half. I mean, we held them to 36 points in the second half. I think that's who we are. I think it's our identity, and it's what I challenged them in the locker room at halftime, that's how we've won games this year. We certainly have been very good in the second half of the season offensively, but it starts with us getting stops. And getting stops gets us into transition and gets us into numbers and step-ups and drags, and then we're not running half-court sets all the time. So, I really thought we were more aggressive. We challenged passes more. We challenged ball handlers more. We just were aggressive all the way around on catches. We were a little too soft early and let them take too many just open shots in a rhythm.
2 questions here on the front row.
This is Siobhan from Chicks Into Sports. Talk about the crunch time at the end, this 40 seconds, and it was just kind of tough to try to get a shot off. But talk about what that was.
I thought we got 2 great shots. We were down 3, 40 seconds to go. We ran an action to get Tiffany Hayes on the baseline with screeners to the backside. She slipped between 2 people. She actually had AB wide open in the backside corner, but that's a good shot for Tiffany. She usually makes that left-handed layup right there, just kind of shot it a little short. So we got a good shot there and had an open shot in the corner on that same possession. Went ahead, got another stop, which was huge. And then, I know Breland doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but that was a great find by Bentley too. We just put her in a step up, got her on the baseline, and let her just find the open person, as she started surveying along the baseline. And even though Breland doesn't shoot threes, she did last year. She shot a good percentage, just was a low volume shooter. You can't get a much better shot than that down 3 in that situation. It was straight, it was long, it rattled in and out. So, ultimately those were 2 really good opportunities for us to either tie the game or to get a little closer on the possession before.
Coach Jamila Johnson, WNBA Insider. Just wanted to ask for your thoughts on Monique Billings and her contribution to the game.
Yeah, we know what we're going to get from Mo. Great energy. She flies to the boards. She did a good job of keeping balls alive on the boards. And, that's just kind of what she brings. I thought she was really much more in this game in tune to guarding Deladon, staying on her left hand. That's a tough matchup for a rookie. Deladon obviously is going to have the upper hand there, especially if she goes down on the block on her, which is what they do. When we sub and we put Mo in the game, Deladon quickly goes to the post for them. So there's a little bit of give and take in that scenario for me, because one, I need to get Breland some minutes break, but Mo gave us great energy, got on the glass, made a couple baskets, was sticking her free throws in. So as she continues to grow on the defensive side of the ball, you see a glimpse of how special she can be for us in the future.
Third row on the right.
Hey, Tiff, the crowd seemed a little bit frustrated with some of the calls from the refs when you got the ball down. Do you feel like the ref missed a couple of calls on
She
you?
can't answer
I'm not
that.
answering nothing about the refs, so.
She can't answer that. Don't put her on that spot. I don't need her fined.
We'll go to toward the back of the room on the left.
This is Taylor Gann, GPB News. Alex, I wanted to ask you, you had some really crowd-energizing shots all throughout the game. What can you take forward going into Tuesday as far as really kind of a hot performance that you had tonight?
I just credit my teammates, my coaching staff for putting me in great positions and getting me the ball where I'm comfortable.
So you seem to come out stronger in the fourth quarter, more aggressive. Was that you just seeing that your team needed you at that time and you started taking them to the hole?
Yeah, I mean, I knew they needed me, they needed everybody, but we started to come together on defense, and that's what always drives me to do better on offense, so definitely came stronger in the fourth quarter because of our defense.
We'll come over here to the second row on the right as soon as the mic comes.
Coach, they get up a lot of threes, they shoot a lot of threes, and tonight they made a few. What's key defensively, defending the three-point line in game two, and what do you think about the defense in the fourth quarter in particular?
Yeah, I mean, we know that 35% of their shots are threes, so high percentage of their shots are threes. We talked about making them go 2 by 2 by 2. We closed out too short on a number of them. We've got to be high hands a little tighter. They've got some players that are certainly hand down, man down kind of situation. But this is you worry because certainly when you close out hard on them and you're gapping, and then all of a sudden then you feel like you're giving up layups. But I thought our pressure was much better in the fourth quarter. It's kind of who we are. We got more aggressive. We trapped a little bit. We mixed up defenses a little better. So we've certainly got to move into the next game. I've got to do a better job making adjustments from timeout to timeout and changing things up, especially in their ball screen action. It's a little tougher when this is the #1 isolation team in the league. So they are going to isolate Deladon on that left wing. They're going to isolate her on the low block. They're going to isolate Tolliver. We did a really good job on Tolliver in those isolations. But it comes down to sometimes, can you make Deladon shoot over top of you and then keep her off the glass, because she shoots with a forward lean, which automatically kind of leads her right back to her missed shots, which tended to be short when she'd missed them. We actually needed her to be long.
Front row right here.
Going into game 2, what are you guys going to take away from this game? What are your improvements?
Well, I think we've got to start the game better. We can't let them get off to 26 points in the first quarter. Certainly this team knows how to battle back, though, and we did it again tonight. We were used to getting down early. I had to call a quicker timeout than I wanted to. But I think it's a lot of things. But ultimately, there weren't a lot of actions that they ran that we weren't prepared for. There weren't a lot of actions that we were clearly bad in. We just have to be slightly better in a lot of areas, and I think our team's going to really learn from how we pressured in the fourth quarter, how we dictated a little bit more, where we wanted the ball to go, or took away their first option, made them play to their second option. I thought the difference between the first half and the second half was they played to whoever they wanted to in the first half, and in the second half, we made catches more difficult. We made Deladon catch it a little more off her spot. So you've got to make small strides between. This is from a coach who's never coached in the playoffs or made game-to-game adjustments. But I'm just making this assumption based on all the history of the NBA and WNBA I've watched. So we're just going to make small adjustments going into game 2.